All right, I got the microphones. If you've got a question for Paige, raise your hand and I'll bring it to you. All right, I'm going to walk right in front of you guys. What do you think of that?
Paige, obviously a close game for most of this, and then at the end, Miami kind of surging and taking over. What do you guys want to work on just in terms of executing later? What do you think happened down the stretch?
Handling pressure, I think, down the stretch, there just has to be more composure, especially with their intensity defensively. They're playing up under us, pressuring the ball, pressuring off ball. But I think we just need to work to handle pressure better, and I think the coaches did a good job of preparing us to do that. It's just about us executing that on the floor. Getting across half court, making the passes easier. But I think just composure down the stretch, that's kind of how they took the lead, was a couple steals and layups at the end.
For sure, and turnovers, Miami had 32 points off turnovers. Just what are your thoughts on sort of what contributed to that and how you want to address that?
Composure, like I said, just not worrying about necessarily them playing up under us. But, if we take away at least half of that, we win the game by double digits. So I think just taking care of the ball, valuing possessions, and then, two, if we value the ball, we can also get shots off, and that's more points for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paige, just I think a positive in this one is kind of guys' defensive effort. You guys have 15 steals, and I do believe this is the third straight game you guys have held opponents under 60 points. How big, I guess, is that moving forward for you guys' defensive identity?
Yeah, I think that's a positive takeaway for us. Defensively, they're probably offensively, they're probably averaging over 70 points a game, and to hold them to 51 is great. We stuck to the game plan. We did what we were supposed to do. We contained the ball, got deflections, got steals. But I think on that side of the ball we did great, and that's something positive we can take away from this and use it to our advantage down the stretch as well.
A lot of late shot clock opportunities there, particularly late. How easy is it to maybe beat yourself up in a loss like this and think, well, maybe if we hadn't passed up one or two shots, maybe they would have went in, and then how do you fight that?
Yeah, I think, moving forward, just kind of looking to the next game, obviously we got to look at film, see what we can do better, and take away. I mean, from a loss, there's a lot you can take away from it that can help you improve the next game. But yeah, those are just opportunities that we missed and shots that we could have taken to give us the lead. But I think just getting better down the stretch, watching the film, knowing what we did wrong, but moving forward and using that next game and just knowing, just applying it into OU next up.
Paige, a lot of alumni in the building today. There a lot came to shoot around, and then even more here at the game. What's it mean to you just to see kind of the history and some of them that you played with and some from way back when, just to see them all back here in the building?
It's just awesome to see the support and the love that they still show to BG. Obviously, they built a legacy here, and that's why I'm able to be here is because of them. And for them to still come out and show their support, I'm really grateful for that. It shows how much they care about the community and how much BG really means to them. And I think, obviously, we didn't come out with the win, but I hope we're able to make them proud, and we have to be able to carry on what they did before us.
Any other questions for Paige? All right. Thanks very much.
All right. Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it. All right. Coach, do you want to start us off with an opening thought or two, and then we can take questions?
Yeah, Miami's in the top of the conference right now because they're a good team. They're a good team. We knew they were going to give us a fight. One of the things that we needed to do to be successful is handle pressure, and I thought it got to us a little bit. Just unrelenting physical pressure, and it bothered us. We turned it over 28 times, couldn't really get into the flow of our offense, played on our heels. I thought they did a good job. Defensively. Offensively, I thought they were gonna be really, really active. A lot of backdoor cuts, but they were trying to break us down with the dribble and skip pass. And I thought, for the most part, for most of the night, I thought we did a pretty good job defensively. Anytime you can hold a team like that to what was it, 51 points, we did our job defensively. It's offensively that we just have to get better. There has to be more flow to our offense. There has to be more movement off the ball. There has to be more confidence in our ball handling and passing. And then, once that happens, I think, we're starting to make shots. Before we weren't making very many shots. Now they're falling. So we got to execute a little bit better on offense. Our defense is holding strong, and we got to prepare for Ohio.
All right, questions?
Fred, is it kind of like what you were talking about with the flow and the confidence? Is that maybe why the turnovers I think you guys had, is that sort of, are those things related? How do you kind of coach that?
Yeah, I thought they were very physical, especially on the ball. They soft switched a lot, held up our downhill drives, which we knew was going to happen. But our off-ball movement wasn't really timely, and it was a little stagnant, which bogged us down a little bit. Then those passes start to get denied when you're late. So it just it's a snowball effect. But, in practice, I think our flow is pretty good. Our practice guys are probably going to have to step it up a notch, be a little more physical with us, and speed us up.
I asked Paige a similar question here. That last stretch was a lot of late shot clock possessions there. It can be easy, I would imagine, to get haunted by those. What if we hadn't passed up that last shot there? How do you kind of fight that in your head and not regret that given the result?
Yeah, I just think they wore us down. They chopped at our tree, and eventually, we kind of we gave in a little bit. We had too many turnovers down the stretch. We didn't get clean shots. We were just a little out of sorts towards the end of all those shot clocks. And I thought, there's a time when, it's early in the possession that I think we're passing up a couple shots, which I think we should take. But other than that, again, I just think it's the flow of our offense. So we got to speed it up a little bit, got to find some more continuity.
Coach, Lauren Gherkin had a pretty good game, 50% from three, 11 points, 6 steals. What do you think just about her performance today?
Yeah, I mean, she's coming around. She's coming around. If you really think about it, she barely played last year. She's just getting her feet under her, literally, and she's starting to feel the game a little bit. So, those shots. She's a great shooter. She's a great scorer. So things are going to happen for her. We just got to get her the ball on time and in a good situation.
For sure. And just in the fourth quarter of games, just what do you want to focus on in coming weeks in terms of executing in the fourth quarter and connecting on some of those shots late?
Yeah, I think I have to do a better job of getting our starters some rest. They're playing a lot of minutes, but there's a trust factor. There's a trust factor, and we got to build some trust with some of our subs, but I think they're coming along. I think that'll probably help us quite a bit down the stretch. I also think, again, like we've got to practice against pressure. We got to practice against physical play. It's always kind of been our Achilles heel. We've gotten better at it, but we need to get even better.
Coach, in the last 3 games, you've held teams to under 60 points, 2 of them resulting in wins. Obviously, tonight you had 15 steals. How big are those 2 things for your kind of defensive identity?
Yeah, I think we've really come along defensively. We can really hang our hat on it, but we got to score some points to win. You're not going to win games with, what would we have, 49 points? Not going to do it. Teams are just too good in this conference. So we got to put some points on the board, but it's good to know that we have something to lean on. Our defense has been really solid, been really disruptive. We're causing turnovers as well and getting into transition. But, I don't know what our conversion rate is for tonight, but I'm quite sure it wasn't great on turnovers into transition.
Coach, Alumni Day, a lot of alums been back all day, and your team and staff has interacted with them. What's it mean for you, not only you, but to the players to see kind of that, such a big group of former players and coaches returning?
Yeah, I'm so thankful that they've, come back and, just the example that they set. They're champions. They've been champions on and off the court. And I talk to my team all the time, like, those banners up there with the blue circles on them and the NCAA, those were those people. And we want to do that. So this is a reflection of who we want to be. It's great to have them in the gym, and we're going to talk to them a little bit and get some experiences and share a little bit, and hopefully it generates a little more pride in what we're doing and how we're doing it.
All right. Any other questions for Coach? All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your coverage. Thank you very much.